Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up one morning, sat at the edge of your bed, and just felt it? Not just the aches in your knees or the stiffness in your back, but something deeper. A sense that everything, even the little things, getting dressed, reaching for your coffee, picking up the newspaper, suddenly demands more energy, more patience, and, yes, even more courage than it used to? If you have, you're not alone. Not by a long shot. You see, after 80, life doesn't just slow down, it changes. In ways that nobody really warns you about. In ways that, sometimes, catch you off guard when you least expect it. One day you're full of plans and movement and laughter, and the next, even simple pleasures feel just a little farther out of reach. And the truth is, nobody likes to talk about it. No one prepares you for it. It's like society decides, quietly, that you're supposed to just know how to handle it all. The loneliness, the frustration, the endless patience needed just to get through a Tuesday afternoon. But here's the thing. Understanding what's ahead isn't about giving up. It's not about living in fear or sadness. It's about preparing yourself, your mind, your heart, your spirit, for a future that's still filled with dignity, peace, and pride. It's about facing the truth, so that you can still find the joy. Still find the meaning. Still live with purpose, even when life throws its hardest punches. That's why today, I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you the real story, the one most people are too afraid to say out loud. Because you deserve that honesty. You deserve to be ready. You deserve to face every tomorrow with your eyes wide open and your head held high. Today, we're going to talk about 5 harsh realities that come with life after 80, things you might already be feeling. Or maybe things you've been trying hard not to notice. Either way, by the end of this video, you'll walk away not just knowing what to expect, but how to meet these challenges with strength, grace, and maybe even a little humor. So, stick with me, right to the very end, because I promise you, what we're about to uncover might just change the way you walk through your golden years. And hey, if you're ready to face life head-on. If you believe that truth, even when it's hard, is better than being left in the dark, then go ahead and comment, "I'm ready," down below. Let's show each other, and the world, that life after 80 is still full of power, heart, and wisdom. And if you find any comfort, any strength in today's message, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, because here, we walk this journey together. Hand in hand. Heart to heart. One wise step at a time. Let's start with the first reality. And it's one that cuts deep for so many. Loss of independence becomes real. Picture this. Mr. Thompson, 82 years old. For most of his life, he was the go-to guy in his neighborhood. If you had a broken chair, a leaky faucet, a door that wouldn't close right, you called Mr. Thompson. He had the tools, the skills, the pride. Fixing things wasn't just a chore for him, it was who he was. But one afternoon, he stood there, under a flickering light bulb in his kitchen. The ladder was just a few feet away. Changing a bulb, something he'd done hundreds of times before, suddenly felt impossible. His hands trembled just thinking about climbing up. His legs didn't feel as steady. He looked up at that light, then down at the ladder, and then he just stood there, feeling smaller than he ever had before. That tiny moment. It wasn't about the light bulb. It was about the slow, painful realization that life was changing, and not in a way he could control. And if you've felt something similar, you need to know this: it's not your fault. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's nature. Pure and simple. After 80, the body changes in ways we can't always fight. Muscle mass naturally declines, no matter how strong you once were. Reflexes slow down. Our balance gets trickier. And sadly, the risk of falls, even from the smallest misstep, becomes a very real, very dangerous threat. Your body isn't betraying you. It's just moving through a season that every living thing eventually faces. Just like a tree sheds its leaves in autumn. This slowing down is part of life's natural rhythm. But here's where so many make a painful mistake. We've been taught to believe that asking for help, leaning on someone else, means we've somehow lost. That it's shameful. That it's the end of our independence. But the truth? Asking for help, adapting to new realities, accepting a helping hand when needed. That's not giving up. That's wisdom. That's courage. That's grace. Because refusing help out of pride can lead to injuries, isolation, and an even steeper loss of freedom in the long run. While accepting support early on, it keeps you safer. It keeps you moving. It keeps you connected. There are beautiful tools and resources today, grab bars in bathrooms, walkers that offer freedom instead of limits, community transportation services that keep you active and involved. Simple things that protect your dignity, not take it away. And embracing them doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're smart enough, and strong enough, to protect the life you love. Remember Mr. Thompson? He finally asked his neighbor's son to help him change that light bulb. And you know what happened? It wasn't pity he received, it was respect. Respect for recognizing when to lean on the village around him. Respect for choosing safety over stubbornness. That light bulb got changed. And more importantly, so did Mr. Thompson's heart. He realized he didn't lose his independence, he just found a new way to keep living fully, on his own terms. And while facing the fading of independence can be a heavy thing to carry, there's another reality that often sneaks up alongside it. Something quieter, but just as hard. The shrinking of our social circles. Think of Mrs. Elaine. 83 years young. Once, her calendar was packed. Lunch dates with friends, community bake sales, church meetings, grandchildren's soccer games. Her days were full of chatter, laughter, and the comforting buzz of people she loved all around her. But now, those afternoons feel longer. Quieter. Sometimes, unbearably so. Her best friend, Marjorie, passed 2 winters ago. Her daughter lives 2 states away, busy with her own growing family. The neighbors she once waved to every morning have moved, or moved on. And Mrs. Elaine finds herself staring out the window more than she ever thought she would. Watching life move around her, but not always feeling part of it anymore. You see, this isn't something that happens all at once. It's slow, like a fading photograph. One missed lunch here. One unanswered phone call there. Until one day, it feels like the whole world just got a little smaller, and a lot lonelier. But let me be very clear about something, if you felt this loneliness creeping in. It is not because you've done something wrong. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. Or because you're any less lovable. Or any less important. It's simply one of the hardest truths about aging. As we grow older, nature takes its course, friends pass on. Families get swept up in their busy lives. Our bodies, once so willing and ready, don't always cooperate with getting out and about. Even when the heart is willing, the legs, the energy, the weather, sometimes they say otherwise. And the danger here? It's not just feeling a little sad now and then. It's that loneliness can sneak into the heart like a slow poison. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness is as damaging to health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It doesn't just affect the mind, it chips away at the body too. But here's the good news. Even in the face of shrinking circles, you can still plant seeds of connection. And those seeds? They can bloom in places you might not expect. Maybe it's calling that old friend you haven't spoken to in months, just to say hello. Maybe it's joining a small church group, even if it's just once a week. Maybe it's checking out the local senior center, where others just like you are looking for that same warm connection. Or even embracing virtual communities, yes, the internet. It's never too late to make new friends across the miles with just a few clicks. Because no matter your age, your heart still has room to love and be loved. And trust me, someone out there is needing your friendship just as much as you need theirs. But loneliness isn't the only silent battle we face after 80. While our social world grows quieter, there's another challenge brewing even deeper. One that isn't just emotional, but physical. It's the slow, invisible fight happening inside our own bodies. The body demands more care, yet responds less. Picture George. 81 years old. Strong spirit, strong will. The kind of man who always took pride in doing things right. He took his medicine on time. He went to every doctor's appointment. He even walked every morning, rain or shine, around the little park near his home. But then, one day, a simple misstep on the curb sent him tumbling down. Nothing too serious, just a sprain, a few bruises. He figured he'd be back to normal in a week, 2 at most. Because that's how it always worked, right? You get hurt, you heal, you move on. But this time, he didn't bounce back. Days turned into weeks. His ankle stayed swollen. His energy didn't return the way it used to. And even the smallest tasks, like putting on his shoes or standing at the sink, felt heavier, harder. You see, after 80, even with the best intentions, even with the best habits, the body changes the rules. Cell regeneration, the body's ability to repair itself, naturally slows down. Wounds heal more slowly. Illnesses linger longer. That bounce-back factor we once took for granted? It softens, and sometimes, it barely shows up at all. It's not because George, or you, did anything wrong. It's not because the vitamins didn't work, or the doctors missed something. It's simply part of the journey our bodies are built to walk. And yet, it's so easy, so heartbreakingly easy, to blame ourselves. To think, maybe if I tried harder, maybe if I ate even better, maybe if I just pushed through. But friends, let me tell you something from the heart, you're not failing. You're not broken. You're human. And being human means adapting, not blaming. After 80, the goal shifts. It's no longer about fixing everything the moment it goes wrong. It's about managing, nurturing, protecting. It's about honoring your body where it is today, not where it was 20 years ago. Gentle exercise becomes gold. Not marathons. Just simple, steady movements that keep your muscles awake and your joints fluid. Consistent hydration, even when you don't feel thirsty, becomes medicine for every system in your body. Preventive care, routine checkups, vaccinations, screenings, becomes the quiet armor that protects you before problems even start. And perhaps most important of all, patience. Patience with your body. Patience with the slow days. Patience with the healing that takes its sweet time. George learned to celebrate small victories. One morning, simply walking to the mailbox without pain felt like winning a gold medal. And he was right, it was a victory. Because at this stage, every step forward, no matter how small, matters. Every act of care, every gentle kindness you show your own body. It's a way of saying, I still believe in you. And yet, even as we adjust to these new rhythms physically, a deeper emotional challenge often rises quietly in the background. A bittersweet ache that's harder to talk about, but even harder to ignore. It's the quiet grieving for the life, the body, the freedoms we once had. And as we learn to live in a body that moves slower, and in a world that feels a little emptier, there's another companion that settles in quietly. Not one we invite, but one that simply becomes part of the journey. Grief. Grief becomes a constant companion. Let me tell you about Betty. She's 84 now. Sharp mind, bright smile. The kind of woman who could light up a whole room just by walking into it. But behind that smile, there are cracks. Deep ones. Invisible to the casual observer, but clear as day to anyone who's ever known real loss. In just 5 short years, Betty lost her husband of 60 years, 2 beloved siblings she grew up with, and 3 dear friends who once filled her calendar with laughter and Sunday lunches. Each goodbye etched a new scar on her heart. Each funeral took a little more light from her eyes. And yet, every morning, Betty still gets up. Still pours her cup of coffee. Still greets the world with grace. This is the hidden weight that so many carry after 80. Science and psychology tell us, frequent loss isn't the exception at this stage of life. It's the rule. The heart bears silent burdens, even if the face smiles. Even if the voice stays cheerful. Even if the calendar still fills with family birthdays and doctor's appointments. Grief doesn't ask for permission. It shows up, uninvited, unexpected. And it lingers longer than we wish it would. One of the most painful lies we tell ourselves is, I should be used to it by now. As if losing someone you love becomes easier with practice. As if goodbye gets softer after the 5th or 10th or 20th time. But grief doesn't work like that. It doesn't follow a calendar. It doesn't listen to logic. It doesn't grow smaller just because the world says it's time to move on. What really happens is this: we don't get over it. We simply learn to carry it differently. We build new pockets in our hearts, new shelves for the memories, new ways to smile through the ache. And friends, there is no shame in grieving, even after years have passed. There's no weakness in missing someone so much it makes your chest hurt when you think of them. It simply means you loved deeply. And that love doesn't vanish just because a clock keeps ticking. But you don't have to carry it all alone. There are ways to ease the silent suffering: journaling, writing out the thoughts that feel too heavy to say aloud. Therapy, speaking with someone who understands the grief journey, who can offer a safe space without judgment. Senior support groups. Places where you can sit among others who truly get it, who know what it feels like to say goodbye over and over and still find the strength to keep going. Even small moments of acknowledgement can help. Lighting a candle. Talking out loud to the person you miss. Creating a little memory corner in your home. Grief isn't a problem to fix. It's a river to cross, again and again, sometimes with soaked shoes and trembling hands, but always with the knowledge that you're not crossing it alone. Because as grief shapes the spirit, as it carves deeper wells into our hearts, there's one more reality that we can't outrun. One final truth that demands our courage more than any other. And after walking through the valleys of lost independence, through shrinking circles of friendship, through bodies that ask more and offer less, and through the long, aching corridors of grief, there's one last reality that gently, but firmly, makes its home in the heart. Facing mortality becomes an everyday thought. Let me tell you about Henry. 85 years young. A quiet man, but one with a spark in his eyes that life's hardships couldn't quite steal away. Lately, Henry found himself sitting by his living room window a little longer. Reflecting. Thinking. Asking himself questions that echoed deep inside his soul. Did I do enough? Was it meaningful? Did my life leave a mark in the places it mattered most? If you found yourself wondering the same things, know this: you're not alone. You see, after 80, the awareness of mortality isn't a sudden thing. It's not like a loud knock at the door. It's more like a slow, familiar tide rising at the edges of your days. Not out of fear, necessarily, but out of a deep reflection on the journey you've walked. Science even tells us, at this stage of life, the brain naturally leans toward reviewing the past. We look back more often, because the horizon ahead grows shorter, and because our hearts long to make peace with the story we've written. It's a powerful instinct. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. But there's a dangerous myth that creeps in here, this idea that feeling afraid, or uncertain, or even sad about the future is something to be ashamed of. I should be stronger. I should be braver. I shouldn't think about death so much. No. Those feelings, they are human. They are real. Fear and acceptance often walk hand in hand. Two old friends, traveling together down the final paths of life. And here's the most beautiful part, my friend, you don't have to sit with those feelings helplessly. You can transform them. You can use this time, these precious, reflective days, to create something enduring. Something beautiful. Something that says, I was here, and I mattered. How? Start with legacy projects. Tell your stories, even the ones you think nobody wants to hear. Record them. Write them down. Share them. You are a walking history book, a living library of lessons, laughter, heartbreak, and hope. Reconnect with loved ones. Have those conversations you've put off. Say the things that have been sitting on your chest. Forgive if you can. Ask for forgiveness if you need to. Give the gift of your honesty, your humor, your love, while you still can. Create memories that your family will hold on to long after you've left the room. Small moments. A favorite recipe you pass down. A letter you leave tucked in a drawer. A photo album you finish and gift with a trembling but joyful hand. Living meaningfully, loving openly, and leaving traces of yourself in the hearts of others, this softens the fear of the end. It transforms it. It turns it into something sacred. Because in the end, facing our mortality isn't just about preparing for death. It's about living fully until the very last breath. About understanding that every sunrise is a gift. Every hug a treasure, every shared laugh a victory. And that, even as our days grow fewer, the impact we leave can stretch out forever into the lives of those we touched. These realities, they are tough to hear. They are heavy to carry. But they are also incredible opportunities. Opportunities for grace. Opportunities for love. Opportunities for resilience. Acknowledging these realities isn't easy. It's not just words on a screen or ideas to think about casually. It's real life. It's the ache in your joints when you climb out of bed. It's the quiet house after old friends have moved on. It's the hesitation when you notice that your steps aren't as steady as they once were. Facing these truths, it means facing fears. It means sitting with grief. It means adapting to a world that often feels like it's moving faster than you can catch up. It's heavy. It's raw. And it takes more courage than people ever give you credit for. You are carrying more than just the weight of your years, you're carrying memories, hopes, regrets, triumphs. You're carrying the full story of a life lived. And that deserves to be honored. But here's where everything can change. Because knowledge is power. The realities we've talked about today, they aren't here to scare you. They're here to prepare you. They're here to equip you. Because when you understand what's happening, when you can see the road ahead clearly, you can walk it with your head held high. Preparation doesn't erase the challenges. But it gives you the tools to face them with grace. It replaces fear with peace. It turns uncertainty into wisdom. You're not just surviving your later years. You're mastering them. You're shaping them with your choices, your attitude, and your heart. And one of the most powerful choices you can make. One of the choices that can transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Reach out. Reach out today. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Write a letter. Share a meal. Sit quietly next to someone who just needs company. Laugh, even if the jokes are old and the punchlines are predictable. Because these small acts of love, these simple, human connections, they have the power to make these difficult years breathtakingly beautiful. They stitch meaning into the days that might otherwise feel empty. They turn loneliness into companionship. They turn fear into belonging. You don't have to change the whole world. You just have to change one moment at a time. One phone call. One hug. One smile. The journey after 80 isn't just about survival. It's not just about getting through another day. It's about cherishing. It's about noticing. It's about holding on to each sunrise a little longer, laughing a little louder, loving a little deeper. Every sunrise is a miracle. Every laugh is a victory. Every tender moment is a thread in the beautiful tapestry of your life. You are still creating your story. You are still making memories that will outlive you. You are still important. You are still here. And every single day you wake up is a gift, a precious, irreplaceable gift. So today, choose to cherish it. Choose to live it. Choose to love through it. Because the best chapters, sometimes, are the ones we write at the very end. Today, we explored 5 of life's hardest truths after 80. We talked about the slow but real loss of independence, how those simple tasks we once did without thinking can quietly become hurdles. We talked about how social circles shrink, how once busy calendars now have more blank spaces, and the afternoons grow longer. We opened our hearts to the reality that our bodies demand more care, yet respond less, healing slower and requiring more patience. We faced the painful truth that grief becomes a constant companion, a silent thread woven through the later chapters of our lives. And we looked, with bravery, at the ultimate reality, the gentle but persistent awareness of our own mortality. Understanding these realities doesn't make them easier, but it does make them less frightening. Knowledge gives us power. It gives us a way to meet these changes, not with fear or denial, but with grace. With strength. With a spirit that says, I will live fully, no matter the season I'm in. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Because your story, your experience, it matters. Which of these realities resonated with you the most? Or maybe you've experienced one of these in a surprising way, something you didn't expect, something that changed you? Please, take a moment and share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know, your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. You might offer comfort. You might offer hope. You might remind someone that they're not walking this road alone. And if you found this video helpful, if it made you feel seen, or understood, or just a little less alone, please subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Here, we have real conversations about real life, the joys, the struggles, the quiet victories, all the things that make this journey meaningful. Together, we can walk this path with more light, more strength, and more heart. Thank you for spending a few moments with me today. It's been an honor to share this time with you. Stay wise. Stay kind to yourself. Be gentle with your heart. And never, ever forget, every age has its own kind of beauty. Every wrinkle tells a story. Every moment is still a treasure. Until next time, friends. Take care.